There's a quiet kind of rejection that hurts more than hearing the word no. It's when someone slowly pulls away, not with cruelty, but with silence. You replay conversations in your head, searching for what changed, wondering if you imagined the connection. And the truth is, you didn't. You felt something real. But real interest never makes you question your worth. This video isn't about blaming women or shaming yourself. It's about clarity. Because the moment you understand why someone loses interest, you stop chasing confusion and start choosing peace. You stop begging for attention that was never meant for you. And when that shift happens, everything changes. Your confidence, your standards, and the way people treat you. Stay until the end, because one realization in this video may save you months or even years of emotional pain. Comment your location and tell us where you're watching from. Subscribe to the channel for weekly psychology-based clarity and growth. When a woman is not interested, the first shift almost always happens internally, long before anything obvious appears on the surface. Psychologically, interest creates expansion. A person leans in emotionally, mentally, and conversationally. Disinterest does the opposite. It contracts. What many men miss is that this contraction rarely looks dramatic. There's no argument, no clear rejection, no final conversation. Instead, there's a subtle cooling, a quiet withdrawal that's easy to misinterpret if you don't know what you're looking at. You'll notice it first in the emotional tone. The words may still be polite, even friendly, but the warmth is gone. Responses become shorter, flatter, more functional. She answers questions, but she doesn't build on them. She reacts, but she doesn't initiate. From a psychological standpoint, this is not accidental. Emotional energy is a limited resource, and humans naturally conserve it when there's no emotional payoff. Interest fuels curiosity. Disinterest removes it. Another key sign is the loss of shared emotional space. When someone is drawn to you, they want to be known by you. They volunteer thoughts, feelings, stories, and vulnerabilities without being asked. When interest fades, that window closes. Conversations stay safe, neutral, and surface level. This isn't her being shy or guarded. It's her protecting emotional boundaries that no longer feel worth opening. Silence, in this context, is not confusion, it's communication. Philosophically, this is where many people struggle because we're conditioned to believe that effort can create desire. But attraction doesn't work like discipline or achievement. You can earn respect through effort, but interest is revealed, not negotiated. When you feel yourself trying harder just to maintain basic connection, that imbalance is already telling you the truth. Desire moves toward ease, not resistance. What makes emotional distance so painful is that it leaves room for hope. Because she hasn't said no, the mind fills in the gaps. You start rationalizing delays, excusing coldness, blaming timing, stress, or circumstances. But psychology teaches us that patterns matter more than explanations. One missed call means nothing. A consistent lack of engagement means everything. People always show you where you stand by how naturally they include you in their emotional world. The moment you learn to recognize emotional withdrawal, you stop personalizing it. You realize it's not about proving yourself, fixing yourself, or saying the perfect thing. It's about alignment. And when alignment isn't there, no amount of effort can force it into existence. What you can do is respond with self-respect instead of persistence, awareness instead of hope. Here's the reflection to carry with you. If someone makes you feel anxious about where you stand, that anxiety is already your answer. Walk toward connections that move toward you too, because real interest never hides in silence. When a woman is not interested, words often become unreliable indicators. She might say things that sound promising, friendly, or even flirty, but her actions tell a very different story. This is where many men get trapped, because we are wired to interpret words as truth. Psychologically, humans are pattern-seeking creatures. We look for consistency between what people say and what they do, and when those two things diverge, it creates confusion. Interest is expressed through action, and absence of action is clarity disguised as ambiguity. You might notice that she makes plans but never follows through, or she promises to call or meet, but somehow never finds the time. She may even express emotional support verbally, but when the moment comes to show it through genuine effort, she disappears. This isn't necessarily a conscious attempt to mislead, it's a reflection of her true emotional investment, or lack thereof. Our minds want to rationalize, to explain away these inconsistencies, but attraction is rarely complicated. It's simply either present or it isn't. Another subtle aspect is the energy behind the words. When someone is truly interested, even small actions carry warmth, intention, and attention. A message isn't just a text, it's a bridge, a signal of engagement. When interest fades, even the words lose weight. They feel mechanical, obligatory, or hollow. Philosophically, this teaches a profound lesson about human connection, effort, and presence are not optional if desire exists. Words alone are empty vessels without the substance of action. The human tendency to hope can make this especially painful. She might smile, joke, or offer encouragement, and our minds interpret these as signs of deeper feelings. Yet psychology reminds us that behavior always overrides intention. Intentions unbacked by action remain potential. They never become reality. The mismatch between words and deeds is not confusion. It is communication, a silent, undeniable signal. Observing it objectively allows you to see the truth without the emotional distortion that comes from hope or wishful thinking. Understanding this principle transforms how you approach relationships. You stop investing energy in chasing inconsistencies and start focusing on patterns that reveal genuine interest. Attraction manifests naturally through effort, alignment, and engagement. It is never something you need to cajole or negotiate. Recognizing this early saves emotional energy, preserves dignity, and cultivates clarity. Here's the takeaway to reflect on. If someone's actions consistently fail to match their words, the message is clear, even if their lips are saying otherwise. Respect yourself enough to listen to the patterns, not the excuses. True connection doesn't require interpretation. It reveals itself effortlessly through alignment, presence, and consistent attention. Anything less is a signal to redirect your energy toward what values and desires you, instead of chasing what doesn't. When a woman is not interested, one of the most revealing signs lies in the subtle ways she redirects the dynamic between you. It's rarely dramatic or confrontational. Instead, she unconsciously reshapes the interaction so that it feels safe, neutral, and non-romantic. Psychologically, humans have an innate sense of emotional boundaries. When interest is absent, these boundaries tighten. Not through words alone, but through behaviors, signals, and the energy she brings into your shared space. She may talk openly about other men, label you as just a friend or bro, or avoid physical or emotional closeness. These aren't coincidences. They are markers of how she positions you in her life. Interest invites tension, curiosity, and emotional risk. Disinterest removes all three. You may notice that attempts at flirtation are met with neutral responses or gentle deflections. Attempts at intimacy, emotional, verbal, or physical, are subtly resisted. She avoids situations where closeness could emerge naturally, keeps conversations superficial, and rarely initiates meaningful contact. Philosophically, this is her way of maintaining safety and clarity without confrontation. Human behavior is rarely random. When someone repeatedly removes themselves from the possibility of connection, it is a conscious or unconscious act of boundary setting. Another dimension of this is the energy she projects. Humans are highly sensitive to the flow of attention and desire. Attraction creates a magnetic pull. Disinterest creates a push or a flatness that cannot be ignored. Even if her words are friendly, the lack of warmth, engagement, and enthusiasm communicates disinterest far more powerfully than any rejection could. Psychology teaches that energy is truth. You can mask it verbally, but the subtleties in tone, timing, and effort reveal where real desire lies. This is where many men misinterpret signals, hoping for mixed messages or looking for exceptions. But patterns matter more than isolated moments. One kind text or smile does not negate weeks of disengagement. Emotional and behavioral consistency is the language of attraction. If she continuously redirects, resists, or neutralizes romantic tension, the lesson is unmistakable. No argument, persuasion, or overthinking will change it. Interest cannot be manufactured or forced. It can only exist naturally and be reciprocated. Understanding this allows you to respond with clarity and self-respect. Instead of chasing someone who subconsciously or consciously pushes away, you can realign your energy toward connections where mutual desire exists. You begin to notice the difference between someone who engages because they want to and someone who tolerates interaction out of habit or politeness. This recognition cultivates wisdom, emotional resilience, and a deeper understanding of human behavior. Here's the reflection to carry with you. If someone consistently redirects the dynamic to avoid closeness, that's their answer. True interest invites risk, curiosity, and alignment. Anything less is a signal to step back, honor your own value, and invest where attraction flows naturally, because genuine connection never requires convincing, chasing, or compromise on your self-worth.